All right, so I wasn't gonna make a video today, but I stumbled into something pretty interesting, and I've just got to talk about it. So I'm not really on Facebook too much anymore, but I was on it last night, and I stumbled into this, and this I was like, I didn't even believe it at first, but then I went and looked at some of the food in my apartment, and I realized that this is true. So, my apartment, my trailer, whatever you want to call it. So it says now, you can't trust what you see on the internet. Nine times, people can Photoshop. Like I could easily make any label with Photoshop. You know what I mean? Like you can make any label say anything if you want. So when I seen this, I'm like, this probably isn't real. Let me go look around at some of the food around here, but it's real. So it says partially produced with genetic engineering. And then this says bioengineered food ingredients, contains bioengineered food ingredients. That means it's been genetically mutated, as in bioengineered food ingredients. Now, I'm not going to go through every single one, but um, let's see. Let me see. All right, so here's Hellman's mayonnaise. I've got some mayonnaise in my fridge. I looked at it, derived from a bioengineered source. So I looked up a video about it last night on YouTube, and it was like the food scientist or whatever, and she was saying basically like, um, basically it's you know how they have to put the GMO label now. Let's see. I'm gonna look it up on YouTube. They basically just changed it to now they're just trying to hide it more. You know what I'm saying? And here's the thing, if it's and she's saying, "Oh, it hasn't there's no proof that it's unhealthy or anything." Let's see. What does bioengineer what does bioengineered food do to you? Bioengineer. Yeah, look, she's got a big smile on her face and oh, everything's fine.
If you do the grocery shopping for your family,
Hold on. Now, one thing that's interesting, man, get this shit out of my face, bro. Comments are turned off. Whenever someone turns the comments off, I'm like, why? What are you afraid of what people are gonna say? Why are you afraid? I don't turn the comments off. People are always like, why did you erase my comment? I'm like, I didn't erase your comment. You must have said something really stupid and YouTube erased it or they made it hidden. I don't turn the comments off. Like, I'm sure plenty of horrible things have slipped through my comments because I don't read every comment. But whenever people turn the comments off, it just makes me wonder, you know what I mean? So,
you may have noticed this new word, bioengineered, on some of your food labels, or perhaps you've seen this new symbol. But I'm
that's the main reason I'm showing you this video. If you see that symbol, you know. Now, my advice, don't buy this shit. I'm not gonna drink soda anymore. I do enjoy a cherry Coke occasionally. I'm not drinking it no more. Um, because it's got bioengineered ingredients in it. And it's like I don't why mess with what nature is creating? What's the purpose? Obviously, look, this government has gone unchecked for so long that now they're just doing whatever they want and it's like no one can say or do anything about it. So, and here's one of the reasons why I say Trump doesn't even matter because it's like, do you think they can pull things like this off in just 4 years? No, this takes decades. Like, so if the Republican president was going to fix everything, we wouldn't be dealing with things like this. We wouldn't have genetically mutated food being fed to us. You know what I mean? And now if it really was harmless and didn't matter at all, they wouldn't have to label it. You know what I'm saying? There's a law that's forcing them to label it. It used to be GMO, and I'm guessing that just cost them too much in sales, so they changed it to bioengineered, which to me sounds even worse. But so now that's what it is. But here's the thing, the FDA and whatever, the same people who insist on everyone taking that thing that doesn't even work, but they demand that you take it. And it's like, if you look into that thing, you're going to see that it is not what they're saying it is. I'll just leave it at that. But and that's the FDA. Do you think that they're not just bought and paid for like everyone else? If it was up to me, this entire government, every single politician in this country would be on trial if it was up to me. And they would be on trial for treason. And if they were found guilty, we would put them in jail for life. And the ones that weren't, maybe we'd let them be a politician or whatever. It's like, in the modern world, everything is so twisted and upside down and backwards. I don't even know if anyone is fit to lead at this point. Personally, I wouldn't trust anyone to lead except myself. And that's the truth. I've never met another person. Let me think about this. Maybe I've met a couple of people that I would trust to be in charge of the country, but not many throughout my entire life. And I'm not saying I know a bunch of terrible people. Most of the people I know are your average person, but could they be trusted with real power? I don't know. A lot of them probably not, you know? Well, let's see what she's got to say.
I'm guessing to a average US consumer, it's a bit of a mystery what bioengineered actually means.
What does bioengineered mean? Well, bio means life, engineered means built by man, basically. So it's life that has been created or modified, mutated by scientists. It's why. Why would they do that? Like, is there something wrong with the food that Mother Nature was producing? No, nothing. Absolutely nothing was wrong with it. So why are they doing it? I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you why they're doing it, but I can tell you one thing. It's going to benefit them and it's not going to benefit us. So if you ask me, don't buy none of that shit no more. Snapple, I was reading about it last night. Snapple is made with all natural ingredients. I drink Snapple. That's all I'm going to drink from now on, aside from spring water and half and half in my coffee, but I buy organic half and half. And to be totally honest, I haven't looked at the label, but I will later. I did look at the label on the Cherry Coke. It doesn't say it's bioengineered, but what it does have is a, the scanner thing that you can scan with your phone. It's like the code that you scan with your phone. And when you scan that, and you go to the website, it says this has bioengineered ingredients. And on top of that, all soda is just, it's a can of corn syrup, which is just unhealthy. I'm not drinking the shit no more. I do enjoy a Cherry Coke occasionally, but I'm not, no more. Then, I'm going to let her do it. I'm going to let her explain. And also keep in mind, look at her happy little, she's trying to sell this shit to us. Like, you know what I mean? That's why when you search it on YouTube, this is the first thing you're going to find is her trying to sell us on this idea that this shit is totally fine and everything, just keep eating the mutant food. Like, nah, I'm not eating that shit, bro. Why do you think so many people are so sick in our society, mentally, physically, and we got to stop playing along with this shit. Every dollar you spend is a vote, really. So my opinion is look at the ingredients. Whenever it's going to have GMOs or bioengineered ingredients, it has to either say it on near the ingredients, or it's going to have one of those codes that you can scan with your phone where it's going to tell it to you, or there's going to be a phone number. So if you ask me, if there's a phone number near the ingredients, if there's a code to scan near the ingredients, or if it says bioengineered near the ingredients, I'm not buying it. Unless it's like, unless it's something that I need and I can't find any alternative. But I'm not, who's going to call every phone number on every product? It's like, just shop organic. That's my advice. And it's not even, Is it that much more expensive? I don't even think so. But, you know, I'll put it to you this way. It's probably inevitable that we're going to have to consume some bioengineered Frankenstein food. It's probably inevitable at this point. But my advice is eat it as little as possible. You know what I mean? So don't support this bullshit. Like, here's how brainwashing works. Listen to the happy, silly little music in the background of this video. This video is supposed to put you at ease. It's supposed to be lighthearted, and this friendly, happy little lady is gonna you know, it's not it's the entire thing is designed to make you feel okay with this.
2022. Now, the legal definition for bioengineered foods put forth in this new law.
I'm tired of being treated like a child. This is the type of shit that they would show children in school, and us as adults, we're like, modern man, in my opinion, is so it's like pathetic, man. You know, like, look, they treat us like children. Look at this. Look what they're showing us. The little happy little sound effects, and it I mean, people think like we evolved. We are monkeys, bro. We are just, I mean, look how easy it is to just, you know, I wonder how many people watched this video and by the end of it they were like, oh, I'll just eat bioengineered food, it's safe.
Says that bioengineered foods contain detectable genetic material that could not be derived from conventional breeding. Instead, you have to use certain lab techniques, and this genetic material otherwise would not be found in nature. Now, what's maybe not obvious at first is that this definition for a bioengineered food.
Okay, so if they feed a cow genetically modified alfalfa, the cow is not considered genetically mutated, so they would not put bioengineered. Now, had they directly mutated the cow, then it would be bioengineered, and as opposed to just feeding it genetically mutated food. What I mean, look at what happens when you got a population of people who sits around. I mean, look, you can't even blame us. We're so busy. All our energy and effort goes into just providing ourselves with food and shelter. That's most of the population. All of their strength and energy goes into just that, just providing themselves with food and shelter. In a country where where in the wild, those are two of the easiest things to obtain. You'd obtain right off the bat, you'd have both of those things figured out instantly. But they've managed to create an entire society built on the fact that nobody can provide themselves with food and shelter. And if they do, it requires all their effort just to maintain those two things. So when you spend your whole life in survival mode just trying to provide yourself with food and shelter, you're not going to be able to pay much attention to anything else. So they can just, whatever the people in charge want to do, they do it. Now, it took them centuries to get it to this point, because in the past, our ancestors were able to provide themselves with these things. So they couldn't pull all this shit on them, because they would rebel and they would take over. So you got to realize that our entire society is built off of just keeping us at a low vibration, keeping us from doing anything but providing ourselves with food and shelter. Because when all your energy goes into that, you're not going to, these things, you're not even going to notice. You ain't got time for this shit. You got to, when you're in the grocery store, you ain't got time to be looking into all this shit. You know what I mean? So this is why I jumped out of this loop a long time ago. I realized that I was in a game that I cannot win, and I didn't want to spend my life 50 years doing hard labor for a bunch of people who don't even appreciate it. They're not loyal to me. They don't care about me. They ain't getting my life out of me. So I went and lived on the street. I'm not playing a game that I can't win. And then the other thing is, I want to do stand-up. The things I want to do with my life, make a living off of my artistic abilities and talents. If all my energy goes into working some job just to provide myself with food and shelter, I don't have the energy to do the things that I actually want to do with my life. So that was why the next video I make might be about why some people choose to be homeless. But anyways, that's going to be the next video. Let's keep going.
It's not bioengineered just because it ate genetically modified feed.
The cow is not bioengineered just because it ate bioengineered food. They didn't directly modify the cow itself.
Because we cannot find that genetic material in the final food product. Okay.
So the cow is eating bioengineered food, but when you eat the cow, so technically the cow is not bioengineered. Now, that's not to say that they're not bioengineering cows out there. And here's the thing, growing food, ask anyone who grows it, everything is very important. Just how you even feel towards the animals and crops is going to have an impact on the health of it. Now, I bought some eggs that were already hard boiled at the store the other day, and when I ate one, I was like, this is the most tasteless, nutritionless food I've ever had in my life. I guarantee it's bioengineered. It's like, it's barely even food. You know what I mean? When I eat eggs that I get at like a good restaurant, they're delicious. These things, I felt like I was eating rubber or something. It didn't taste like anything. It didn't, probably didn't do anything, just passed through my system. So, and that's it. That's on the positive side. On the negative side, if you're eating genetically mutated things, who knows what it's doing to the insides of your body? What is cancer? Cancer is a mutation of the cells. You know what I mean? So I don't trust this shit. From now on, me personally, I'm going to be looking out for this bioengineering thing, and I am going to do my best to not consume it for a lot of reasons. Now, let's see. This Tapatio, this comes from like Mexico, so yeah, I mean, look how simple the ingredients are on this. Let me so I can see what I'm doing, so I can show y'all. This is the ingredients on a product from Mexico. Hopefully y'all can see that. Look at that. Look how simple that is. Now, let me grab something from America. Hold on. I'm going to grab a can. Oh, I got a can of soda right here that this has been my ashtray. Now, look at the ingredients in this. And that barcode, when you go to that barcode, it's going to tell you, look at how much shit is in here. You know what I mean? So we're being poisoned. We're literally being poisoned by the people, and our government and these politicians that all these people are loyal to, and they cheer for them, and they think, they're fighting each other over them. They're all trash. They belong in jail, if you ask me. So how do you know if your food's bioengineered? It's either going to say bioengineered, or it's going to show this logo, or
Hear the ingredient statement on the food. The third way, straight.
Remember that logo. Now, this is the third way she's going to tell us.
Strikes me as a bit odd, but I guess a food producer can put a QR code on the label.
It strikes her as a bit odd, the QR code. Yeah, the reason they do that is because they know most people are not going to bother to scan the QR code on their food. So basically, the way I'm going to do it is if I see the QR code near the ingredients, I'm not buying it. I'm not going to sit there scanning every whatever. There's other options in the store. I'm going to find the one that doesn't have a QR code or bioengineering or that logo or a phone number near the ingredients. That's the one I'm going to find. And here's another thing. The reason I never buy generic food is because that is, the great value products or whatever. Those are made with all of the cheapest, most mutated shit ingredients on Earth. So I'd be willing to bet every single generic food product is bioengineered in some way, shape, or form. It's just synthesized garbage, which is unhealthy. Here's the thing: you can save your money and buy generic crap and think you're saving money. All the money you save is going to go to doctors who are just they're not going to cure you of anything. They're going to tell you to keep eating the poisonous shit food, and here's some more chemicals, here's some more drugs. You know what I mean? I'm so disgusted with what modern Western societies have become in every shape and form. Just the disloyalty, the greed, it all just disgusts me, man.
You can scan the QR code with your smartphone, and that will direct you to a website, and that website will disclose if the food is bioengineered or not. The fourth way is that the food producer can put a phone number on the food packaging.
So how do you know if your food's bioengineered? It's either going to say it down by the ingredients, or it's going to show that bioengineered logo, that healthy looking logo with the nature, or it's going to have a QR code, or there's going to be a phone number. Now, I'm not going to bother calling the phone numbers and scanning the QR codes. What I am going to do is find the products that don't have those things.
My first instinct is that by picking a totally new, unknown word for the most part, is they could ignore sort of all the baggage and emotions and history that the term GMO tends to bring with it.
No, they just want to ignore all the baggage and emotions. Look at the fucking look. They are preparing the food that you're eating. Look what they're doing. Look, they've got biohazard. Look, biohazard. When you see that symbol, that means there's poisonous, deadly chemicals in the area. They're spraying it all over the place. Look at them. I mean, these people are all probably, look, they're just wearing paper masks. Look. I wouldn't look at this. I wouldn't do this for a job. They deserve whatever mutations and poisons that they're getting in themselves from doing this. Bioengineered. Foods that contain detectable genetic material that has been modified through certain lab techniques and cannot be created through conventional breeding or found in nature. You're eating things that nature cannot produce. Why? Why is that? What's the reason? Can anyone tell me in the comments why? I mean, like, that's she never even goes into why. Anything with meat, poultry as the main ingredients or eggs does not have to follow the bioengineered law, meaning they can literally genetically create a mutant creature and feed it to you, and they don't even have to tell you about it. They could make some chicken in a lab that literally has like no brain or organs. It's just like chicken meat grown in a petri dish. And so this is why they're getting to this point to where they don't even have to raise animals anymore. They'll just create meat in a lab. And it's like, if we let them keep going, they're going to be eating all the healthy food, and they're going to be selling us all the poison that they synthesize in a lab for dirt cheap, which is not healthy, and it's probably literally poisonous. And as long as we keep playing their game and voting for these politicians, and they're just going to keep going in this direction, and we're going to be taking less and they're going to be taking more, as they have been for the past, I'd say, since World War II ended. They have been screwing us over steadily ever since then.
Now, for all the hullabaloo about labeling foods as bioengineered or not labeling them, I just want to point out that the FDA and the National Academy of Sciences have found no proof that bioengineered foods are worse for your health or that they are unsafe. And actually, they have a really interesting book on this that I will put a link in the description.
The FDA and whatever she said, the Natural Board of Sciences, as if these people aren't bought and paid for. I mean, But anyways, I appreciate every single one of you. Go on my Patreon if you want to know what's really going on out there. And I tell you what, your mind is going to get blown. And if you can prove me wrong on anything on Patreon, I'm all ears. I'm looking for the truth. I'm not looking to push a narrative. I'm looking for the truth. We should all be looking for the truth. Stop playing their game. Stop pushing their narratives, and start thinking for yourself. And I tell you what, this world does not work the way a lot of us think it does. If you want the details, go on my Patreon. I appreciate every single one of you. I'll see you on the next one. Everybody have a good one.